Back then, just to give context, I had been working with my business partner for 7 years before that, and we continued to obviously, go on to the next business. Key thing I think that, was really important was that we had the same values. And there was a key time when we sat down and we actually wrote them down on a piece of paper and we shared them with each other. And we noticed they exactly matched to each other, which was quite incredible. And I think there's like there's no need to really worry about a lot of those concepts about, are we aligned on certain things? Because overall, in a macro sense, we always are, because we're always valuing the same thing. Another thing to give context on is we were friends, not like really close friends, but obviously became much closer friends over time. We just shared a lot of the similar topics. We didn't actually do the same thing. We were very separate in what we did. So I was more tech and marketing and product focused, whereas I think Frank came more from a financial and marketing side of things, and I think structure and operations. I think that those two things kind of marry up quite nicely, that we didn't overlap too much, but we could come together and debate and discuss things. Those were really essential things. Some key things I would think about is with yourself, what are the skills you're really strong at and what are the skills that you're not so strong at, and try and find basically the opposite of you. So someone who tends to either frustrate you a lot or does things really well that you're really bad at. Frank and I played a lot of games of Monopoly, probably played a good, I reckon 100 games. We'd play 2 games a night at least. And from that, you quickly developed and understood, is this the kind of person you could hang out with? Because, playing a game of Monopoly is not the quickest thing to do. From that experience, I think we learned and developed and understood each other really intimately. And I always think gaming is a great way to do that because it's a mock trial of reality. The other thing I think is really important is some people don't have a partner as well. Maybe you've got all this. Maybe you have all the dimensions that are needed, and maybe it's just not for you, and that's fine as well. And it might be just advisors or directors or people like that help you along the way. And so I think that's a different way of looking at it. Another key component when finding a partner is to think about, right down the long term, what would their role be? I think there are a lot of different types of founders. So there are product founders, there are marketing founders, there are operational founders, there are sales-led founders. I think that very quickly, someone is probably going to be the CEO at the end of the day. In this case, that's not me. But there's very specifically for me a much better place looking at the business on a high-level strategic perspective and helping to allocate capital and helping to build new things. And so I guess for yourself, what you want to ask yourself is, are there skills you're trying to fill? That's the first thing. 2, what's your role going to be in the future? And 3, do you actually need someone? That's personal decisions that you need to make. And a lot of it comes from self-discovery. All those answers actually probably are inside yourself. So spending some time, away by yourself with a notepad and just asking yourself questions, I think is a great thing to do. If you're going to go on a journey into the desert, do you immediately go and find someone else, or do you just prepare to go by yourself? You can make those reflections, and then I think you can make some good decisions, and then you can start to determine what kind of person you'd like to go on that journey with.